But no, I want to talk about engaging groups of girls because I think a lot of people, a lot of guys specifically, kind of struggle with this idea of going out and there being groups of girls and they find it very overwhelming to try and approach multiple girls at one time. So I'm just going to be talking about how to keep the group engaged, if that makes sense. Like, you don't want to target the girl that you want that's in a group and then leave out the entire group because that's not going to work out in your favor in the end because most girls are very observant of their friends and they're going to be able to see that their friends aren't having a good time or their friends are getting bored with the interaction that's happening and they're going to end up leaving. So here are some things to kind of take note of. You got to understand that everyone kind of has this bar. I don't know if you're familiar with like cooking games and stuff like that, where there's a bar, like a meter that you have to fill up to keep customer satisfaction. Imagine that bar like attention span. Everyone in the group kind of subconsciously understands and knows what the attention bar is for the rest of their friends in the group. And if that bar is an all time low, the vibe's going to be an all time low, which will ultimately cause the interaction to collapse. There's kind of three main things that I want to touch on in terms of approaching a group of girls and how to keep them engaged. I want to talk about eye contact, body language, and your speech, the way that you speak and the way that you project your voice. Eye contact has to do with if I'm talking to 2 to 3 girls, right? I need to be bouncing in between. So let's say I'm telling a story like, yo, I was actually at this spot at the bar and they had this really cool drink. It was blue. I honestly forget what flavor it was, but it was absolutely delicious. It was on 47th Street down in, you get what I'm saying? So by me using eye contact, I have engaged all three of the girls that are in front of me and I'm keeping them hooked into my story. Imagine if someone was telling a story to you and they were just looking directly at you while your friend's sitting right here. You already know your friend's going to be like, oh, don't, this doesn't, he's not relating it to me or there's no interaction for me. So why should I pay attention? You know that your friend's attention bar that I was talking about earlier is starting to lower. Another thing that I was just talking about is actually with body language that I'm doing right now subconsciously because I do it so often. It's just speaking with your hands. You don't even have to be looking at someone. You can be looking at this person right now and doing this with your hand to the other person to your right or to your left, and it's engaging them because that's how attention span works. They see something moving and it catches their eye, so that keeps them locked in for that much longer. This is how you can not appear boring when you're talking to multiple groups of people. I think a lot of guys struggle in general, and not in a sense to where their voice isn't deep enough. Let's say a lot of people need to work on their tonality, but it's also just the volume at which you speak. A lot of people struggle with this idea of speaking a little bit louder. You need to boost your voice up. Everyone in the group needs to hear you. Can you imagine telling a story and every 3 seconds someone says, wait, what'd you say? Wait, huh? Oh, I didn't hear. Automatically, it throws off your vibe because you don't even really want to tell the story anymore after someone says, what? I didn't hear what you said 3, 4 times in a row. But it also doesn't keep the group engaged. If I can't hear what you're saying, it makes me think what you're saying is not important, right? So you need to boost your voice up, put a little bit of depth in your voice, add a little bit of bass, and speak louder. I also want to touch on one more thing before I end this video, and it's about how a lot of you guys will kind of see a group of girls, but you see the one girl that you want, right? That's a good thing. Always, when you're going out and you're trying to pick up girls, there should be the girl that you want. If they're in a group, do everything I say, but you still need to add into the conversation like an observation about the girl, so to speak. Like, let's say you're with a group of girls and they're all kind of loud and feisty. You can say, oh, I bet you're the worst of the group. But say this to the other girl, her friend. Doing that piques the interest of the girl that you want. Because if you see two people talking about you, you're like, well, what are you saying over there? Right? So this is how you can kind of make these interactions man to woman sort of thing. And that's how you're also going to be able to create an isolation phase because it also lets the friends know who your target is. And if the friends like you, they're going to help you. And doing that naturally keeps everyone engaged, right? If you're doing that, then that makes you seem friendly. That creates a great vibe with everyone in the group, which will in turn make the group of girls like you and they will help you secure your bag. You do want to be able to make this interaction a man to woman interaction instead of making it a generalized group. Because if you're just talking to everyone in the group and you're not targeting in on someone, on the girl that you want, I mean, it's never going to get to the point that you want it to. It's never going to get to that stage because there's simply not enough attraction being made.